Peter Schiff Show.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Peter Schiff, and before the break, we played some sound from Ben Bernanke's speech, and he proves that he doesn't even understand the basics of economics. The most fundamental thing about economics is supply and demand. You know, you have two curves, the supply and demand curve, one upward sloping, one downward sloping, and where they intersect is how prices are determined in a market. And Ben Bernanke points out that prices are rising because of an increase in demand. So he doesn't have to worry about it. Well, what Bernanke doesn't understand is that the demand is coming from the inflation he's creating. The more money that Ben Bernanke creates, the higher the demand. Money supply moves the demand curve. For example, think about an auction where everybody comes up to an auction and they have $10, and that's the most money anybody has. And you auction off items. Let's say you have another auction with the identical items, but everybody has $20 to bid. Wouldn't you expect there to be more demand and therefore higher prices in the auction where everybody brought $20 versus the one where everybody bought $10? What if everybody bought $100? What if everybody brought $1,000? Obviously, the more money at the auction, the more demand for the merchandise, the higher the prices. That's what's going on. And Bernanke doesn't understand, or at least he's not being honest, about how his own policies are affecting demand. And so, in other words, inflation is causing higher demand, which is causing higher commodity prices. So it's not the demand that's causing prices to go up. It's the inflation that's feeding that demand, and that comes from Ben Bernanke. And then Bernanke also said that he's confident that commodity prices are going to stop rising. They've been rising for 10 years. Why should they stop now? And he's been confident that they would stop rising, for 10 years, and he's been wrong. Remember, even before he became Fed chairman, he was worried about deflation in 2002 or 3. He was, deflation is a big threat. Commodity prices kept rising. He's confident that these increases won't spill over into inflation. Confident based on what? Is it just like a hunch he has? Is it just a whim? Is he just going on his gut instincts? Because if he is, maybe he ought to examine how his gut instincts have served him in the past. Like when he said that the problems in the subprime market were contained and they didn't represent a threat to the overall economy. Or when he said there was no housing bubble. Or when he said that even if housing prices fell, it wouldn't have a material impact on employment. I could go on and on about all the things that Ben Bernanke thought that were wrong. In fact, every hunch he ever had has been wrong. Don't you think he should just re-examine his feelings and his forecast? The only way that I think there'd be any chance that inflation wouldn't run out of control, that commodity prices would actually fall, would be if Ben Bernanke thought that commodity prices were going to rise. If Ben Bernanke actually believed that inflation was a threat, maybe, then it wouldn't be, because he is one of the best contrarian indicators of all time. Whatever he says, the opposite will in fact happen.